following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. It's Thursday on Main Street Sports today, and we are going to be joined by author Jeff Pearlman, who authored Showtime about the Los Angeles Lakers dynasty of the 1980s turned into an HBO series. Yeah, he'll be joining us 2:15 today. Also, Summertown girls basketball coach Jeremy Jean, fresh off their region finals victory over rival Loretto last night. Plus, our player and team of the week and tons of high school basketball previews for the upcoming weekend sectional round and more. To the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid Chris Yao, this is Main Street Sports today.
Welcome in. It is Thursday. We won't throw it back this week, but I guess it's a throwback to last year because Summertown's big win last night was pretty crazy. So, man, what a great show we have. We're going to throw it back to the 80s, I guess, here in the next segment when we talk to Jeff Pearlman. Get a chance to talk to him about the 1980s Lakers dynasty and what led to getting a book turned into a screenwrite. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to it. Jon Robinson of the Tennessee Titans got a little emotional yesterday. We'll get into that. And Joe Rexrode, our friend from The Athletic, was also in Indianapolis talking to him and got some answers from him and Vrabel about kind of what's coming up this next year. So we'll get into a little bit of Titans talk as well, which is, unusual for March. So looking forward to that. Plenty of high school hoops to talk about. Obviously, this weekend, Thursday and Saturday, tonight is we'll determine some region champs and boys action. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you all of the teams in our area down here in Southern Middle Tennessee who will be involved because I have them right here, and they're part of yesterday's results, today's schedule, which is brought to you on the Rundown. So let's get into it. What do you say?
The Rundown.
In Wednesday high school girls basketball action, the Region 5 2A championship game, Summertown with a 62-53 win over Loretto. Sending Loretto on the road for Saturday sectionals. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. And Summertown will be at home. In NCAA men's basketball action on Wednesday night, MTSU over at Charlotte drops a 60-52 decision. In OVC tournament play up at Evansville, it was Tennessee State defeating Southern Illinois Edwardsville 77-62, and Tennessee Tech with a 78-51 win over Austin Peay.
In women's action, Middle Tennessee State stays undefeated at the Glass House, 72-65 winners over Charlotte. SEC tournament play at Vanderbilt, we told you yesterday, 85-65 over Texas A&M. And in ASUN play, Lipscomb season comes to an end with North Florida getting a 60-42 win over the Lady Bisons. In softball action, Tennessee down Tennessee Tech 11-1, and the Preds just cannot figure out the Kraken. Kraken 4, Preds 3 last night in NHL action.
Tonight's boys basketball action, region championships will be decided in Region 5-1A at Wayne County. It'll be Santa Fe taking on Richland. That's a 7 o'clock start. Also at 7 o'clock out at Mount Pleasant, the Region 5-2A championship. Summertown takes on Fairview. And at Summit in Region 6-4A, Independence faces Ravenwood. That is also a 7 o'clock start. NCAA men's basketball action today. Lipscomb is at Liberty in the ASUN tournament. That game starts at 6 on ESPN Plus. At 6:30 on ESPN Plus in the OVC tournament at Evansville, SEMO takes on Tennessee State.
In women's action, about to tip off here. Vanderbilt and 23rd ranked Florida at Bridgestone Arena in the SEC tournament. In the OVC tournament, Tennessee State is taking on Austin P right now. That one is in progress and is pretty deep, probably close to halftime at this point. In NBA action, the Grizzlies are at the Celtics tonight, 6:30 tip on TNT. And in junior college baseball, Columbia State and Grand Rapids are tied at 0 in the fourth. So that's going to do it for today's rundown. Normally, we reserve this part for our top story, but we reserve the hardware for the segment with Coach's Corner. But since that got pushed back a little bit, we're just going to give it out. Just go ahead and dish out some hardware, Mo, and tell you about the End-to-End Life Team of the Week presented by our friends at Custom Stone Handlers. I just figured, this seemed like a good time to give the Summit girls a little love. They did defeat Franklin 67-57 in the Region 6 4A quarterfinals. And that got them to this week where they played in the semifinals and ultimately lost to Hillsboro, who won the region. But the district championship game, they made it all the way to the district championship game and then into the region semis for just the second time in program history. So congrats to the Summit Girls Hoops team for being our End-to-End Life Team of the Week presented by Custom Stone Handlers.
Our MTBJ Player of the Week presented by MTBJ, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, is Jordan Davis, the sophomore from Columbia Central, who scored 22 points Saturday night in the Lions' 45-43 come from behind win over Brentwood in the Region 6-4A quarterfinals. And again, advanced them into the semis where things did not go so well. But great game out of Jordan, and looking forward to his continued success. So Jordan Davis, the sophomore from Columbia Central, is the MTBJ Player of the Week. And
right. Good.
Speaking of top stories, I don't know if you've seen this or not. I feel like you've not, because I feel like you would have said something if you had. Apparently, Farragut appealed the TSSAA's decision to pull both them and William Blount out of the postseason for a on-court skirmish from Tuesday night. Reading the letter from the TSSAA to Principal John Bartlett, the Farragut High School administration appealed the officials' decision to call the game based on the misapplication of the rule. After reviewing all the information available to the state office, this appeal is granted. The game should have continued with the players available to each team, provided it was in a safe environment. So, Farragut and William Blount can play out the remainder of their game with the players that were not ejected. Farragut had 2 players left and William Blount had 1.
William Blount cannot continue. You have to have 2 because you can't inbound the ball.
So there you go. Option number 2. Farragut and William Blount may mutually agree to end the game with 1:38 left in the fourth quarter and declare Farragut the winner since they were winning the game at the time it was interrupted. Farragut will advance to the final round of the region tournament in this case. Option number 3, William Blount may forfeit the contest to Farragut. Farragut will advance to the final round of the regional tournament in this case. It sounds like all of these options lead to Farragut advancing.
Okay.
Because your only option to continue the game is not available by rule because you've only got 1 player. So,
but they cannot advance. They can win the game, but they cannot advance. Because how many players do they have left?
The players that were ejected are still required to sit out their next 2 games in accordance with Article 3, Section 7 of the TSSAA bylaws.
And by rule, you have to start the game with?
You have to start with 5.
With 5 players.
So
they can win the game.
So this is...
But they still can't play tonight.
This is much ado about nothing, basically.
This is the TSSAA saying, technically you're right, but it still doesn't matter. So there you go.
Yeah.
Once again, Science Hill and Dobbins Bennett playing for a spot in the glass house.
Yep.
That is interesting, though, that they granted the appeal to basically say.
Well, they granted the appeal based on the fact that the rule was misapplied.
Right. It's
technicality.
It's technicality at this point. I love that, though. By the way, me, Captain Chaos, I love that. I love that they have granted this and said,
all right, cool. You're right.
You're right.
You're right. Now, what you gonna do?
Here are your options.
And none of them are good. None of them change
anything
what we did.
Exactly.
You still can't go on. You won the game.
Or they can play. Well, I guess technically they can't play it out because, again, William Blount only is one player. So there you go.
So, I mean, they're going to be declared the winner of that game.
Yes.
But they're not going to go any further.
That's correct.
So, wow.
All right.
There you go.
That was fun. I had not seen that. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Well, I try.
All right. Let's talk to Jeff Pearlman on the other side of the break. Main Street Sports Today returns after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today. On this Thursday edition, Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls, and what a beautiful day it is here in southern Middle Tennessee. Almost like a beautiful day in Southern California.
Southern California. Just thinking the same thing. It is a SoCal kind of day.
SoCal kind of day. Should have came back on some Beach Boys or something.
Yeah.
California dreaming.
Yeah.
California dreaming, baby. Oh, man. Speaking of California, the Los Angeles Lakers dynasty of the 80s was a lot of fun for those who got a chance to see it live. I've only gotten to read about it. One of the books that I read about it called Showtime. Not at the Apollo. No, it was not there. Other side. In LA. And it was so fascinating. Everything about it. Just the players, the personalities, everything that went into it. So no surprise that there has now been a screen adaptation of this book. And I'm looking forward to it because on HBO, I guess 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, on Sunday, it will premiere. And I have HBO Max, so I'm excited. you can see Winning Time, the screen adaptation of Jeff Pearlman's book Showtime. And joining us now is the author of said book, Jeff Pearlman. Jeff, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
I am always upset when I'm not introduced when I do these shows as legendary Tennessean high school wrestling writer, former Tennessean high school wrestling writer, Jeff Pearlman.
Well, that's funny because I should have let Mo introduce you as that.
We did not realize, Jeff, to the extent to which you embraced that portion of your career. But we will
Wow.
We will certainly make the necessary adjustments going further, sir.
Listen. I've covered many things in my days, as have you guys, but I still maintain Overton's Father Ryan, 1996 wrestling. Some of the most exciting stuff I ever covered in my life. Not being sarcastic.
I
loved it.
I will tell you this, and this will make you feel old. I covered Charles McTorrey's son in the state tournament this weekend.
Oh my God, that did make me feel old.
You're welcome.
Wow. Yeah, thanks, Mo. That was very nice of you.
Hey, well, as high as you're flying these days, I had to make sure you stayed grounded.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank you. That's fair.
Yeah. So, walking the red carpet yesterday. JP has a question for you regarding last night's premiere. Yesterday's premiere.
Yes. And Jeff, when we found out about the premiere, the haunting question was, who did you wear?
I wore Men's Warehouse.
That's what I'm talking about.
They weren't too far off, Jeff. Well done.
I wore a suit I bought 2 years ago for my son's bar mitzvah, and the last wore 2 years ago my son's bar mitzvah. And I also wore Adidas sneakers and a white T-shirt. So and rubber bands around both wrists. If you must know, the rubber bands are vintage from my walks when I pick them up and forget that I have them, and I put them around my wrist.
Well,
pretty stylish.
Suits and tennis shoes are in vogue nowadays. It's not something I would do. I don't think it's a look I could pull off, but clearly,
if I could pull it off, you can pull it off.
Well, that does kind of give me hope, actually.
Mo, as you say, speak for yourself. I think you can pull that off. You rock the sneakers well.
It certainly would not be the 3-stripe sneakers, though.
They would not be the 3-stripe sneakers. Sorry, we'll not be getting any Adidas endorsements anytime soon. But Jeff, congratulations, all BS aside. I mean, I guess if you write a book, there's no higher compliment than to have somebody say, hey, you know what? We can make a series out of this.
Man. I mean, first of all, thank you. And I feel like you would understand this very well, Mo. Number one, because we worked together all those years ago at the Tennessean. And being a writer is a lonely business, and it's an isolating business. And you spend a lot of time by yourself in your head. You just do. And you get a lot of grief and not that much praise, and it's hard and lonely. And last night, I'm not just saying this, was it had to be one of the 3 greatest nights of my life. It really was. I had my son and my daughter with me. My wife couldn't be here, and it was just insane. And you're like, HBO is making a show out of a book I wrote, and it's going to our first season, and Sally Field is in it, and Adrian Brody's in it, and John C. Reilly's in it. Oh, and by the way, I'm at this party with them, and Adam McKay is directing it, and all the food here is free. It was ridiculous. It was truly, because journalists love free food more than celebrities. We just love free food, and it was dreamy. It's dreamy.
We can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody should have. Well, so they showed they screened the first episode last night. It's a 10 episode per season, and they had all this candy out and popcorn and stuff. And you would not want to check my pockets last night. I'm just saying, you wouldn't want to check my pockets last night.
Jeff, they didn't care if you took it, dude. It's your show.
No.
They didn't care.
I wouldn't say it's my show. It's based on my book, but yeah.
But I mean,
Sure.
they weren't going to turn you upside down and shake it out of your pockets, dude. It's okay. You probably could have walked in with a bag and it would have been fine. But
he's got some styrofoam takeout boxes.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
I ain't leaving this
I've done
here. What
worse,
are you,
man.
crazy? Shoot.
I've done worse. I've done worse.
As Denzel Washington said, I'm leaving here with something, So, Jeff, we had you, and you were nice enough to come on with us when we first started this a couple of different iterations ago, basically. But you were just coming off of another Laker-related book, I guess, and Three Ring Circus. And at the time, you kind of intimated that you had something else in the works. How is that coming along? The something else.
Yeah, well, I have a Bo Jackson book coming out in October, and I'm excited about it. I love Bo Jackson. I love the experience. I thought because of COVID, I didn't get to travel. I actually thought I might be able to stop by and come to Tennessee and see you guys, but a lot of time in Bessemer, Alabama, and I love the Bo Jackson story. I really do. I love the Bo Jackson story.
I mean, I don't know how anybody who was a sports fan at that period of time could not love Bo Jackson. And Chris, being from Alabama, can probably speak to it even better. But I mean, there are so many Bo moments that come to my mind when I think about Bo Jackson. And you say you're excited about it. I think a lot of people are excited about the opportunity to read this, just because Bo is kind of that icon of the mid to late 80s and early 90s, I think. You feel like he was going to be a Hall of Famer in some way, shape, or form had he not suffered that injury against the Bengals for the Raiders,
I think it's really interesting. I just told someone this yesterday. If Bo Jackson, let's say Bo Jackson never gets hurt, and let's just say hypothetically, he has an Eric Dickerson career as a football player, and let's say he's Sean Green as a baseball player, something like that, those kind of careers. Number one, obviously, he's in the Hall of Fame in elite football. But number two, he's not nearly as interesting a subject later on. Because I really think a lot of the intrigue about Bo Jackson is the what if this all. Don't you think? Like, because everyone's like, we're all like, he's the greatest athlete we've ever seen. But we didn't actually get to see that much of him. And if we had seen the decline, if we'd seen him already has these great times, then he starts breaking down a little bit, then he's not that good anymore. Sort of like whatever, Joe Montana with the Chiefs later in his career, where he's still good, but it wasn't the same. It takes away a little of the mystique. And I just think the fact that he went out on a football field, then came back on a baseball field with an artificial hip, I just think there's a lot of intrigue to him that I wouldn't have had if he had played 12 years in a sport.
No doubt. What was it like trying to finish that up with Winning Time? Kind of, did they overlap much?
The thing is, like, they did, and it was cool because, like, when you write a book about a TV show, you're involved, but you're not involved day to day. So they would send me a lot of questions about, is this right? Is that right? Can you read the scripts? I went on set a couple of times. We had my wife and I and my kids were all in an episode just briefly. So it was like really like little days of summer camp getaway, we'd seen all the episodes, fact check stuff, but it was more like just a little vacation. That's actually what it was. More like, so it didn't interfere.
So were you in it as yourself, Jeff, or surely not?
No, I'm a reporter. I'm a reporter in 1979. You'll see me in the first episode, and my wife is the Chicago Bulls receptionist. So
you're a reporter. That's
I'm just a reporter. It was a big stretch.
A little typecasting there, huh?
Yeah. It was a big stretch for me.
You mentioned Sally Fields is in the cast. Sally Field, excuse me. I noticed that Michael Chiklis is playing Red Auerbach. I think that's kind of cool. What do you think of some of this casting? I mean, I've not heard of Quincy Isaiah, but apparently he's playing Magic. Is he 6'9"?
No, he's probably about 6'1". So he's shorter than I am. They do a lot of it's really interesting. The casting is really impressive. Like, so you have all the established actors. You have Adrian Brody playing Pat Riley and John C. Reilly's Jerry Buss. And then it's almost like a dream factory for a lot of younger writers. Like Quincy, he was a center in football at Kalamazoo College a couple years ago. He had to lose 80 pounds for this role because he's not playing a football player, he's playing a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because the guy playing Kareem is, his name is Solomon Hughes, Dr. Solomon Hughes. He's a PhD. And he is a former University of California center. So Solomon is 6'9". So I was there for some of the filming, and Quincy, again, who's only about 6'1", standing next to Kareem, he wears these sneakers, like these giant, almost like Gene Simmons on double platform heels. So you wouldn't know the height disparity. So they do a lot of tricks like that. It's really interesting. The casting is amazing. The guy who plays Kareem is Kareem, basically. And Quincy as Magic he just oozes this kind of like first time in LA, I can't believe I'm here living this fantasy sort of thing. It's really, I would be excited if this show sucked. Like, I'd be like, holy cow, they're doing a show of my book. But it sucks. I know, but they're still doing a show. But this show is amazing. This show is so ridiculously good that I'm just blown away. I'm just blown away.
We're certainly looking forward to it. I mean, anytime you get a chance to get personalities like that on a screen is going to be a lot of fun. And you were able to capture a little bit of those personalities through the book. And I think it's going to be just a phenomenal show. Again, I guess it's on HBO, but obviously you can stream it on HBO Max.
Correct. It premieres on Sunday on HBO on March 6th.
Sunday, 8 Central. Going to be a lot of fun.
So are you going to have like a viewing party, Jeff, or are you just going to chill at the house and watch it with your wife and the kids, or what's the plan for Sunday evening?
Well, I was going to watch, but I heard Overton and Father Ryan are wrestling. So I'm probably going to skip the show and go on over to the Ralph Gabriel Memorial Gym or whatever. He's still alive, I'm sure. We're having just a few people over. I'm not. Again, like, this isn't even my home turf, so it's not like I know a million people in Southern California to invite. We're having a small party, a viewing party. I've now seen this episode about 15 times, so I don't, don't need to see it again. I mean, it's cool, but
Well, you can see it in real time with the rest of the world, I guess. So
which is cool. I know social media, especially if people like it, you get to get the feedback and all that. It's fun.
Do a little live tweeting and that kind of thing. We'll look forward to it.
Yeah, maybe I might actually. We'll see. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, legendary Tennessean
high school
wrestling writer Jeff Pearlman joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Throw that legendary in there because
that might be the only portion of that phrase that's accurate.
There you go.
Jeff, man, we appreciate you taking some time. I know you've got a lot going on this week, obviously. Again, congratulations. Looking forward to the Bo Jackson book and to whatever comes after that, because I know you got something else cooking.
I hope so. I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks. All right. Jeff Pearlman joining us there. And I didn't even ask him about the USFL. Aren't you proud?
Only because you forgot.
No. I was purposely not going to go there. So it's not what this is about.
Men's Warehouse. I like it.
I told you it was Cole Haas or whatever.
Hey, it worked.
Men's Warehouse. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Titans on the other side, because Jon Robinson got a little emotional yesterday.
Yeah, and I got a little something to say about that.
Well, we're fixing to find out.
All right.
Because we're going to watch it and listen and react here on Main Street Sports Today. Y'all stick around. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Tomorrow, Main Street Sports. Today, it is March, and that means we're talking a little madness. Jerry Palm, CBS bracketologist, will join us at 2:15 Central tomorrow. And just ahead of the SEC tournament in Tampa, that is in Florida, that is correct. Bob Kessling, voice of the Vols and the Vol Network at 3 p.m. Central. That's tomorrow on Main Street Sports Today.
Well, Madison Blevins Hawk, a sports anchor for WBIR in Knoxville, says Farragut does not know how many players will be suspended at this point. My assumption is the TSSAA wouldn't grant the appeal if Farragut only had 2 players to play in the game, LOL. And obviously that's not accurate.
No, that's not accurate at all. I mean, they appeal based on a misapplication of the rules. The game should not have ended.
And it says right there in the letter that based on our information, they would have 2 players available and everyone ejected has to sit out. So therefore, the next game cannot start.
Because you have to have
5.
Players.
And someone said, well, they can play JV players. No. TSSAA has submitted rosters at the beginning of the playoffs. If you're not on that roster, you cannot be added at any point. So therefore, they're done. But hey, who am I and what do I know, apparently? Let's talk Titans, because I'm going to get angry on Twitter, and I don't need to get angry on Twitter. Jon Robinson was asked yesterday by a reporter while he was sitting in the stands they're in Indianapolis for
Combine.
Okay, so the combine is. I thought that's what it was, but I wasn't entirely sure.
Yeah.
He was asked what he needed to do better, and so
he was asked what he could have done better
last year
for the team this past year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hear what he had to say, and it might take a minute because he kind of sits there and pauses for a moment. So see how long it takes to get to that.
The trust that ownership has put in me, our fans, and I mean, that stadium was rocking now. And you can only.
All right. Well, we lost a little of our juice, but what he was finishing was saying you can only imagine what it would have been like the following week is what the last part of that was going to be. And he's accurate.
And then he said, there's a list of things I could have done better.
Yes,
I
that
think
too.
was the phrase. And that's my consternation with this, because the question was, what could you have done better? And the answer is, there's a lot I could have done better. I think I would have liked to have heard some specifics on that, because that's, to me, that's not really an answer. Now, everybody's caught up in the passion and the emotion of his response, and I get that, because I think as Titans fans, folks have looked for somebody involved with that team that's as invested in that team as the fan base is,
to appear to care.
And so the fans have latched on to that. He still didn't answer the question.
I have a tweet out there completely talking about something else that says, if I ask you for a reason, you say you have a list of reasons, but don't give me one thing from that list, then forgive me if I don't trust your list.
Yep.
Here's the thing is, I don't
accurate.
know what he could have done better other than potentially get some kind of help at the
receiver.
Yeah, but I mean, what money did he have to play with, and who you gonna get? He tried.
I don't know necessarily what he could have done better, but maybe that's why the person that asked the question asked the question.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was the answer. Should have been nothing.
I think it deserved. I think it deserved more than there's a lot of things I could have done better. Just to be honest,
I think the reason he didn't have a list of things is because I don't think there was much he could have done better.
Then say that.
Well, I think had he said that, there would be a lot of Titans fans going, "That's BS."
Then you're not good enough is what that could have come out of that, I think.
But
some
the fact
fans, right?
is,
yeah,
he did everything. He turned one of the worst defenses in the National Football League into one of the best defenses in the National Football League, pass rush wise, in a season, in one off season. He can't help the injuries suffered on the offensive side of the football. He can't. He could not have done anything different to stop that.
I don't know that anyone is looking to hold J-Rob accountable for that Cincinnati loss.
I think so either.
But, you know, you're the guy there. The buck does kind of stop with you. And when somebody asks what you can do better, and your response is, there's a lot I can do better, then it goes back to your tweet.
Let me ask you this. What if Jon Robinson looked up and said, better what? We were the number 1 seed in the conference. Isn't that our goal?
No.
But
it's not. It's the answer.
For a general manager, it is.
The number 1 seed is your goal?
Because you have built a team that is good enough to be the best team in your conference to get to the Super Bowl. You can't control how they play on the field, but you clearly built a very good football team over a 17-game schedule. You were the best football team in the American Football Conference. That's a pretty damn good job, and you can't tell me that you have done a poor job if that was what happened.
And again, I don't think anybody.
I wish he'd have said it.
I don't think anybody is saying that he did a poor job. And I don't think being the number 1 seed in your conference is a goal. I think holding up that trophy the second Sunday in February is your goal, whether you're the number 1 seed or the number 7 seed or anywhere in between. And of late, the last 2 times the Titans have been the number 1 seed, the result has been this.
So the only thing Jon Robinson could have done better is what? There's one thing.
Yeah, I don't have an answer.
The answer is Ryan Tannehill. He could have gotten a better quarterback 2 years ago than Ryan Tannehill. Now, I understand 2 years ago, Ryan Tannehill played like freaking John Elway. Did he make a mistake in signing Tannehill to a super long and huge contract? Probably. And if that's the answer, that's the answer.
Here's the thing.
But you can't say that because Tannehill's still your quarterback.
And it goes back to, if they don't have the injuries that they have, I think things are different. I mean, if Derrick Henry doesn't get hurt, then Ryan Tannehill is a lot more effective.
And I think Julio Jones is less likely to get hurt. A.J. Brown's less likely to get hurt because you have less outside linebackers covering them in the flats and beating up on their ribs.
So, but again, I'm not saying Jon Robinson did a poor job. I'm not saying he did a bad job. I'm just saying, relative to the question that was asked,
he didn't answer.
His answer was not great.
I just feel like the optics of saying, what more did you want me to do? I built the best team in the conference. That's a pretty bad optics because you didn't win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what did you want me to do? We played 17 games and we had the best team in the conference. I mean, that's pretty darn good. I don't know what more did you want from me?
I honestly think it's okay to say that though, because it's factual
for us. Titans Twitter not nearly as
it's factual. They were 12-5. They were the number 1 seed. They had home field throughout the playoffs. All they had to do was win.
I wish you would have said it. Because today I would be like, I would say, okay,
J-Rob is
show
my
me
homie,
the lie.
Show
me the lie. Because there wouldn't have been one.
There you go.
So I agree with you that it was a poor answer because it was, but he tried to coach speak it and it didn't work. But he masked the coach speak with emotion and that worked. So there you go.
Yeah. And he didn't piss off his quarterback.
And he didn't make his quarterback angry. So here we are.
Maybe that's a win-win.
It is a win-win. Anyway.
Because who would you rather have pissed at you? Mo Patton or Ryan Tannehill?
There you go. The only other thing, I know we're pushed for time here, but I did want to ask, I did want to mention two things that come from this Joe Rexrode article at theathletic.com. One, the question was asked about whether Dylan Radins was ready, and Mike Vrabel said, quote, "No, Dylan is not ready today, period." So, all right.
Today being March 2nd.
He's not ready today.
He's not ready today.
And then secondly,
good thing you're not playing today, huh?
He said they were talking about re-signing Ben Jones, and the analysis from Rexrode of the quote he got from Vrabel, which is pretty long, so I won't read it, is, "Man, that sounds like a farewell from Vrabel to Jones, doesn't it? Put him down as another guy I'm less convinced is going to be back in 2022. So I guess we're looking for a center in 2022.
Well, I thought all the feedback was that they were looking to bring the offensive line back intact.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Anyway, there you go. Those are the two things that I cared about the most in that story. So Radins isn't ready and Jones isn't coming back.
Well, I guess, again, my biggest concern about this team going forward is what is Harold Landry's situation. Because I think with the pass rush that you were able to create this past season, if you can avoid disrupting that, I think you're going a long way toward, playing for a number 1 seed again.
They're discussing whether or not to tag him. He's going to be a Titan next year, whether he plays with a tag or not. He's going to be a Titan next year. If he plays with a tag, then he's probably not a Titan in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets paid the same amount of money that it would cost us to tag him, then he's probably a Titan at least for 2 or 3 more years. Now we got Bud Dupree for what, 4 more years? I think we signed a 5-year deal with Bud. So give me Harold Landry, Zach Cunningham, and Bud Dupree
for a full season.
For for the next 3 seasons? Please and thank you. Come on. Anyway, let's take a break. It's halftime. I didn't get mad on Twitter. I got mad on the air. Not really. Just, I agree with you that he should have just said, what you want me to do?
Number 1 seed. There was only one of those.
JP said he's got a halftime topic. I'm looking forward to it. So y'all stick around. It's going to be really good right here on Main Street Sports today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports today. It is halftime. Hey, real quick, apparently the Blackhawks and Preds are going to play on at 11:30 Central on a Saturday at Bridgestone, April 16th. Seems weird, but okay.
It's on a Saturday?
Yeah.
It's one way to keep them off Broadway on Friday night, I guess. I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, JP?
Yep. All right. You guys may have seen this, maybe not. I'm going to put it up full screen right now, but unnecessary roughness on Twitter, which I think is a Barstool
Strike one
Yeah.
subsidiary.
No idea.
But I still think it's an interesting conversation. College football, it's March, and college football media personalities bracket. All right, so there's a 32 names.
Okay.
A huge majority are still living. There is one known that has passed. There may be others that I'm not aware of. But so there are 2 number 1 seeds. So again, a 32 person bracket.
So 216.
216 sides. Yep. 32 all head towards one in a traditional bracket style.
Who are the 2 number 1s?
2 number 1s, Keith Jackson and Kirk Herbstreit.
Who's the number 2 on Kirk Herbstreit's side?
Number 2 on Kirk Herbstreit is Vern Lundquist. And
it's a pretty weak side.
The 15 seed that Vern faces off against in the first round is former partner Gary Danielson. Now, the other number 2 seed on the Keith Jackson side is Lee Corso against Joey Galloway.
Corso gets my vote only because he said the F word on live TV.
There you go.
Captain Chaos at it again. Who's the number 3 with Herbstreit and Lundquist?
The number 3 is as
Fowler.
Thank you. Chris Fowler is on the Kirk Herbstreit, and the number 3 on the other side is Paul Feinbaum. And then the 4 seed, we have Gus Johnson on the Keith Jackson line, and which I think is a sneaky to get to the championship. And another strong number 4, Brent Musburger on the Kirk Herbstreit.
I thought, yeah.
I'd rather have seen Gus in that other bracket because he'd have come all the way through.
It's going to be tough to oust Keith Jackson.
It is. It is.
I mean, that's
currently Matt Leinart is beating Brett McMurphy. So friends of the show, please go vote for Brett McMurphy.
That's a 5-12 matchup.
People don't know who Brett McMurphy is.
Not anymore.
Just a 6'11" or other.
People.
Well, I mean, he used to work for CBS. They should know. Jesse Palmer is destroying Tim Brando, but that's only because everybody voting for Palmer is blocked by Brando on Twitter.
They're not voting for Palmer; they're voting against Brando.
But these are all polls. So, like, if you go to the poll, you can vote in each poll, and
tell folks where it is again.
It's UNNEC Roughness on Twitter. UNNEC Roughness. So Reese Davis, Greg McElroy should be fun. Anyway,
Yeah, Reese, a 5 seat.
I'm going with the Muscle Shoals boy, baby.
There you go.
All the way through. Let's end halftime because I think we can talk. Let's keep talking about this on the other side of the break. So stick around.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Second half action now, Main Street Sports Today on this Thursday edition. Coming up, we'll be joined by Summertown girls basketball coach Jeremy Jean, region champs after a win over their rival Loretto last night. That'll be in the Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe. Coming up, also, we'll preview the upcoming weekend. A busy schedule. Sectional round is here in Division I. We'll talk about it. But we're going to continue the March bracket sports announcer, media personality, a little early bracketology, if you will, on Main Street Sports Today. Back to Hall of Famer Mo and the 2006 Time Person of the Year, Chris Yao.
That's it. All right, so let's just keep talking about this because I love the idea anyway. And we talk a lot about broadcasting. We talked about Aikman last week. By the way, our other subject in this particular segment was supposed to be Herb Street potentially making a move to the NFL as Amazon Prime is courting him for that Thursday night game. So that could be interesting. But since he's the number one seed in this bracket, works out real well for us. So what we're going to do here is we'll go through the matchups. So we've got three guys. We've got three of us. So we're going to take a poll, and whoever wins 2-1 or 3-0, we'll get the vote from our MS_sports today. That's at MS_sports today on Twitter.
Democracy at its finest.
We will talk in the Brandon Walker region. We have number 2 lead course.
Okay,
yeah.
time out.
That's what it's called.
The Brandon Walker region.
Who is Brandon Walker? Is that?
I think he is the host of the show.
Okay. All right. So that explains why.
One of them is Casey Smith, and the other is Brandon Walker. Those are the two hosts of the show.
Why don't we call this the Chris Yao, and then the other one could be the Mo Patton bracket.
Be better than Brandon and Casey, I guess. I don't know. Number 2 Lee Corso, 15 Joey Galloway. Obviously, you know
Corso.
my vote.
Yeah, I reckon we're going Corso.
In the 7-10 matchup, Palmer and Brando.
I'm inclined to go with Palmer.
Just because I'm blocked by Brando, I'm not giving him my vote.
Earlier in my career, I would have gone with Brando.
Same.
But I gotta go with Palmer.
So Paul Feinbaum matched up against Beth Mowens.
That's a tough matchup.
In college football, and remember, this is a personality, sports, college football personality. So I understand she's a play-by-play and all that.
Trailblazer.
But it's Paul Feinbaum, folks.
Yeah. That's a tough draw for Beth.
Yeah, Paul, you could argue Paul is 2 seed worthy.
I was going to say, he's a little underseeded, but so is Beth.
Yep. Yeah,
I think Beth is underseeded too.
That's a bad matchup for BMO.
Yeah.
Feinbaum has to move forward, unfortunately.
Number 6, Matt Leinart, and 11 seed Brett McMurphy.
Or McMurphy.
Friend of the show, Brett
McMurphy. Yeah.
I don't think there's any question here. 4 seed Gus Johnson and 13th seed Dan Orlovsky is. Listen, I've grown.
I'm not even sure Dan Orlovsky deserves to be in this field.
I have grown to love Dan Orlovsky on Twitter because he embraces what he is. So
yeah, Orlovsky's
on
one
Twitter.
definitely that I agree. Mo probably shouldn't be on here. Where's Joe Tessitore?
Hello.
Put Tessitore on this list.
Apparently not.
He beats a lot of folks.
He would beat Orlovsky.
Well, Gus Johnson is easily going to be the winner there.
Sure.
Again, Reese Davis, Greg McElroy. I'm going with the Muscle Shoals boy, y'all. I don't like Greg McElroy. I don't think he's good at his job, I don't think he's good on morning radio.
I don't necessarily have an issue with McElroy. I'm not as exposed to him as you are, but I do like Reese Davis. So,
Yeah, I go Reese. Not that my vote mattered on that one, but yeah, I'll go Reese.
Tough. If it's 8-9 though, what are you gonna do? Lou Holtz and Todd Blackledge.
I don't like this matchup at all. Can we do like the TSSAA and just remove them both from the bracket?
Of the two, I'm going to go with Blackledge because of Todd's taste of the town. That's the only thing I like about either one of them.
I mean,
although Judge, when Lou Holtz did
Yeah.
the Judge thing, that was pretty cool.
With Reese
With
and,
Reese.
and Mark
May.
Yeah.
yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Blackledge.
I think recency bias gives the edge to Blackledge.
All right, Todd's taste of the town. It's a 53-46
No pun intended
matchup.
there. The edge to Blackledge.
53-48.
You can't. Sorry, you can't spell edge without Todd Blackledge.
That's true. It's true. Lou Holtz winning that one, by the way.
Of course, yeah.
Tough draw for Josh Pate because
Who?
I love no. If you're not following Josh Pate on Twitter, go.
I'm not.
He's phenomenal.
Who is he?
He's from East Tennessee, and he's
Okay.
got a great podcast.
Tennessee
and
boy.
very, very knowledgeable, but not even close. Keith Jackson.
Yeah. Keith Jackson. Will Nelly.
Uncle Vern and Gary Danielson.
I think Vern is the lesser of two evils here.
I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Vern. Yeah. Definitely Vern. That voice is synonymous with SEC.
Danny Cannell and Ron Franklin.
And hang on a minute. Let me check something.
Okay. What are we checking?
We
here?
are checking to see if they've got Danny Cannell's name spelled correctly, and they don't.
They don't.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Therefore, we got to go with Ron Franklin, right?
Well,
Ron has
Ron's
his
had a rough.
issues.
Yeah, he's had a rough go of it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Ron.
Yeah, I can't vote for Danny Cannell.
Exactly.
Although he's winning pretty 65.9 to 34.1.
I think there's another recency bias.
Yeah, there's
there
probably a
because
lot.
It's been a while since Ron's been on the air.
Yeah, it's
For
a
reasons
young
of his
audience.
own making. by
Yeah,
the
this group has a pretty young audience, I
Mhm.
think, and many of them probably don't even know who Ron Franklin is.
Right.
Chris Fowler, Andy Staples.
This is a tough draw for Andy.
Yeah,
Because I mean it's obviously Chris, but Andy deserves better.
Andy
I
deserves
think.
better than a 14 seed.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
But
Reggie-
that said,
Yeah.
it's Chris.
Reggie Bush and Pete.
Thamel.
Thank you.
I've not heard Reggie in a booth. I assume this is broadcasting.
He's on the Fox College
on the
pregame
studio
with
show?
Matt
Yeah.
Leinart and
okay.
Brady Quinn, and it used to be
It was another
The
Notre
former-
Dame guy, wasn't it?
no, well, it was the former coach at Florida, Urban Meyer. I went blank, Urban Meyer, and this year it was Bob Stoops as the quote coach, on the
Yeah.
I'm going with Thamel.
Thamel.
There you go.
So whatever. Brent Musburger and Sean McDonough.
I will never vote for Sean McDonough for anything.
You are looking live at a Brent Musburger vote.
Absolutely. Holly Rowe, Brad Nessler.
I will never vote against Holly Rowe for anything.
I don't know. That's a tough draw.
That's a
How
tough
is
one,
she
too.
at
That
12?
is I don't know how
Yeah.
she's a 12, but that's an upset special right there.
There's got to be at least 112 over a 5.
And this is it.
And I think this is it. And I do like Nessler, and his voice is synonymous. You know, his voice was on the
NCAA football.
NCAA football game too. So I mean,
I just think Holly's so good.
oh, Holly's great. Yeah.
Desmond Howard and David Pollock.
David Pollock is really underrated, I think. I think he does a good job.
And he's far less homerish than Desmond Howard is. So I'm going to go with Pollock.
Well, he has been less homerish. It'll be interesting to see
Well,
how homerish he is coming off a national championship. But yeah, Pollock.
and Kirk Herbstreit and Dan Wolken.
I guess we got to go with Herb Street just
I'm
because
definitely
we can't.
not voting for Wolken.
So there you go.
Yeah. One seed's got to advance.
There you go.
Over 16.
All right.
He ain't Virginia.
Yeah, no UMBC here. Well, we made it through. Let's talk to Jeremy Jean on the other side of the break about his team's big win last night on Main Street Sports Today. Stick around.
Welcome. I'm Tyler Palmatier with Main Street Nashville, and this is the Main Street Preps Weekly Roundup. Basketball season's in full form, and we are recovering from a flurry of upsets last week, which saw 4 of the top teams in our Fab 15 girls rankings lose in district championships. Number 1, Blackman. Number 4, Cookville. Number 8, Rossview all fell, and that madness has leaked into this week where our number 4 team, Coffee County, was eliminated from the postseason by McMinn County. That chaos has put some intriguing regional and sectional matchups on the table for this week in Division I, but the biggest stories of this week are going to come from the Division II state tournaments, where mid-state teams have occupied 9 of the available 16 spots in the Division II AA and Single A tournaments. And several of those teams are right in the middle of the title conversation. You've got Ensworth on the girls' AA side, Webb School on the girls' Single A side, Brentwood Academy and boys AA as the arguable favorites coming into those tournaments. And in Division II Single A boys, the Mid-State is guaranteed a team in the finals, with Good Pasture and USN set to play in the semis. MainStreetPreps.com will have live coverage of each game with a full staff at Saturday's championships in Cookville. And don't forget about Division I, where the girls' state tournament field will be decided with sectional games Saturday and the boys will follow on Monday. We'll have a running scoreboard with all of those results as the playoffs press on. So keep everything tuned in to MainStreetPreps.com.
Taylor Groves and the East Robertson Indians are the last team left standing in Robertson County basketball. Coach Kurt Caton's team will host Clay County Thursday night for a Region 4 1A championship at East Robertson. Their win over Pickett County in the semifinals was a sight for sore eyes in the county. Greenbrier boys, alongside White House and White House Heritage girls, saw their seasons end in the semifinal round. White House boys, both Joe Burns teams, and East Robertson girls also had their year end in the region's first round. East Robertson and Clay County played once in the regular season, with the Bulldogs pulling out a 68-53 win in November. Since then, East has reeled off 18 straight victories. Tip is at 7 p.m. at East Robertson. Stay tuned to MainStreetPreps.com for coverage on that game and all things Robertson County sports.
I'm Casey Patrick, and I'm a sports reporter for the Dixon Post and the Cheatham County Exchange for Main Street Preps. In the Dixon Post this upcoming week, we'll have coverage of the Creekwood Redhawks and Lady Redhawks journey throughout their region tournament, as well as various season previews for the upcoming baseball, softball, and soccer seasons for both Dixon and Creekwood teams. We also hope to cover the middle schools as much as we can and get as much as those guys and girls in the papers, like I said, as much as we can. For the Cheatham County Exchange, Cheatham girls and Cheatham boys are both still playing in the region tournament. The girls just lost on Monday night. We will have an article for them, as well as the boys and the Harpeth boys, who both play on Tuesday night in Mount Pleasant. We will have some stories. Those will be the main stories for the paper coming up for the Cheatham County Exchange. We also plan to hopefully have some season preview articles for softball, baseball, and soccer there as well. You can follow me on Twitter at CVP51. And you can follow Cheatham County Exchange and the Dixon Post on Twitter. Also, feel free to follow Main Street Preps to keep up with pretty comprehensive coverage of the mid-state area. Thank you.
Welcome back in to Main Street Sports today. Mo, it is not unusual that we're talking about Summertown and Loretto playing in the region finals of the TWSAA girls state tournament. So the only unusual part is that it's in Class 2A.
It hasn't changed anything. And actually, at one point, that was kind of going to be my story coming out of last night's game. The fact that classification hasn't really impacted either of these programs the way you may have expected it to. But, you know, with Summertown pretty much taking control of that game early last night and getting the 62-53 victory, I just felt like it was best to just kind of be straightforward with this one. So as we bring in Summertown girls basketball coach Jeremy Jean here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. Coach Gene, remind me, you were at Forest at one time. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I was there for 12 years.
No, you were there for not just for one time, but for a long time. So
I was there for a long time.
And a good time.
So are you familiar with From the Heart?
From the Heart. Now
it's if you're coming from the high school, it's on your right after you cross 99, right before you get to Henry Wooten.
Okay.
By the gym.
Yeah, by the gym.
Yes, by the gym. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. If you've not been, you need to get in there. If you have been, you need to get in there again. We do too. All
right.
Yeah, good stuff. But hey, congratulations.
I appreciate it.
You had played Loretto 3 times prior to last night. First time it was a 67-49 game, 18-point game. Second time it was a 14-point game down at the barn, 61-47. 8-point game, 53-45 in the District 10 2A finals on February 21st at Mount Pleasant. Narrowed the gap, obviously, in each of those 3 games. And we talked last night after the game. What did you feel like the biggest difference was from game 1 to game 4?
I think the biggest difference was we took care of the ball from, cut down from 24 turnovers to 12 last night. And I think we just got comfortable playing together. That group hadn't started until this year. And they're starting to gel together. They're familiar with each other more. They're comfortable. I think just all those things coming together. And I think Katie playing the way she played inside opened up a lot of our outside shots.
Katie Burdett, the only senior on the team, finishing with 20 points and really just a masterful job from 3 feet in, basically. The guards did a great job of feeding her. Y'all made some post feeds that were just spectacular to watch, I thought. And once Loretto had to adjust and defend her with more than one player, really opened things up on the perimeter. 9 threes on the night.
Yes, they did. And that's another thing that's gotten better is our post feed. Earlier in the year, we were getting passes, were getting deflected, getting in there, and we wasn't comfortable looking in there. But that's gotten better. And she's had a triple-double, a double-double last 3 games. On the board, she's playing really well, and she's a great passer. So when it come in there, she kicked it out. The guards were really open and just started feeling good as the game went along to make those shots.
Coach, when we talked after the semifinal win over Cheatham County, that was exactly what you and I spoke about, and how Katie has demanded the basketball over the last couple of weeks. Yes. And she's your only senior. And she told me, she said, look, if we're going to lose, it's going to be because I lost it. They're going to give me the basketball, right. and if we lose, well, right. It'll be on me, and that's and I can right. handle that. So, what's it like to have a leader like that on your team?
That's awesome. Just her saying that, it takes pressure off everybody else on the floor. That she's going to take the blame or whatever happens if something bad does happen. It's really good to have a post kid like that, especially a post like that. Post kids are rare nowadays that can score like she can. She's been fun to coach this year.
And on top of that, you've got a group of young kids who, and you and I talked about this as well, understanding how to win. You've got kids who are young, but yet have been on parts of championship teams. Almost everybody on this team was part of that team that went to the state title game last year. I mean, understanding that these games matter, but also just getting to Murfreesboro is the most important thing.
Right. And what we said, we got volleyball state champions, golf state champions, girls on the team last year.
Softball state champions
from last year to this year. Softball state champions, and it's tennis probably too. It's just they know how to win. And last night with about 2.5 minutes to go, we started, hold the ball and relay up. And there were times where we could have freaked out and turned it over or went and, shot a three because they were falling. They didn't. They knew what we had to do to win was, make the game shorter than the 2 minutes. And I was really proud of how they handled that, being up 6, 7, 8 with 2 minutes to go.
Getting a chance to play at home has got to be a positive. You feel like, you don't have to travel to Martin, and two,
Right.
just a little familiarity and being inside your own gym and sleeping in your own bed, sleeping in, not having to get up a little early or anything like that on Saturday. Obviously that's going to play at least some sort of a factor.
Yeah, I hope it does. I hope they're tired coming in here on that long trip. But just hosting this game, it means a lot to them because I know it's their goal to get state tournament, but it's hosting a sub-state game. It's a big benefit. Your fans are here. It's going to be loud and rowdy when it needs to be, and then they'll quieten down if we need them to. But they're excited. We can keep our normal routine for game day. Get up here at 8, like we do normally, and shoot, and then go home and come back and get ready to play.
Facing a Gibson County team that I believe also moves up from 1A to 2A this year.
Yeah, so they did,
and that's a program that certainly knows the way to Murphy Center as well. What do you know about them? What are your expectations out of them Saturday night when they get here?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to come after us. That's just what they do. I think they're a lot like us. They got a really good post player, some good shooters, and a good point guard. So, yeah, I don't think they're long like Loretto long. So that's going to help us out because length has caused us problems this year. But they're going to come at us. They're going to get in some pressure, and if we play the way we're capable of playing, we'll have a chance to win, and that's all you can ask for.
Summertown 28-4. Their 4 losses are to Creekwood and Loretto. So, I mean, you got to feel pretty good anytime you're playing anybody else. And obviously after last night, you got to feel pretty good playing Loretto as well. But got them on your home court. And like you said, they don't have quite the length. I guess the phrase would be cautiously optimistic about this one Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be a good phrase. I think we're playing well defensively, and if you can defend people, and with the post presence that we got right now, we can be in the game. Even if our shots aren't falling. We showed that with Cheatham County and Sycamore. We just got to defend like we have these past 2 weeks, defend and rebound and limit our mistakes, and we'll be in it at the end with a chance to win.
What was the rebounding differential last night, Jeremy?
We out-rebounded them by 10.
Felt like more.
It did feel like more. But a lot of those, they didn't get many offensive rebounds at all. We limited them to one shot, and that was key. There's a lot of keys defensively. We didn't get driven on as much as we had in the past, so we didn't have to help to get out of position to rebound. Loretto's a great team. They shot the ball well. It's just when they missed it, we didn't let them get another chance to score that possession.
Jeremy Jean, head girls basketball coach at Summertown, winners of the Region 5 2A bracket, and will host Saturday. What time is the game set for against Gibson County?
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock tip. Make sure to get down there and get it in there early because that gym fills up quick when the Lady Eagles are on the court. So, Coach, we appreciate you for taking some time with us today, and congratulations once again. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Jeremy Jean. When we come back, we've got
Jeremy Jean on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill.
Where?
Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill.
Do you know where that is? It's in Marshall County. Tell you what that means off the air.
Okay, then.
On the other side of the break, Main Street Sports Day continues talking high school hoops. from the Heart Cafe. One of the best burgers and all the best desserts in all of Middle Tennessee. Go see them. We'll be back after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Main Street Today is your half-hour coffee break with the one and only Devin O'Day, featuring lifestyle, inspiration, and entertainment. It airs live at 11 a.m. Central, right here on all these same Main Street media platforms, and we'll be there following on demand, including Instagram at Main Street Today Radio. It's Devin O'Day and Main Street Today, weekdays, 11 a.m. from Main Street Media.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today. We just added an extra word in there.
She does entertainment.
Sports.
We add sports. Its own style of entertainment, by the way.
It is.
No doubt.
A lot of great games tonight in high school hoops action. Michael Odom, who has certainly been around a lot longer than I have in Tennessee, and he works for the Mirror Exchange out in the Jackson area.
Milan, to be specific.
And, I guess most people around here probably know where Milan is. So, yeah, there you go. He says that JV players are eligible players to play and could potentially play if Farragut chose to play in the next two games. I don't know that I would. I don't know why you would subject your JV players to that, but
play and see what happens.
I guess you never know. Yeah. I mean, hey, it could happen.
Maybe
those old McDonald's commercials.
Maybe one of those JV players has a stroke from 3 or something and knocks down 10, or I mean, I guess it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
All right, Michael Scott / Wayne Gretzky. So I don't know if that's accurate. I just don't know.
Yeah,
be a great story.
Yeah,
so Farragut could potentially play tonight. Not real worried about it. I want to go down the list of games in the Middle Tennessee area, and in each region, I want you to tell me which one is the most intriguing matchup to you, just based on what we know, which is not a lot about the rest of the area, but I feel like we have at least somewhat gotten acclimated after talking to Tyler and Russell and our friends from across Main Street Preps. So Pearl Cone at East Nashville, obviously a big rivalry, big game there. Clay County, East Robertson, we talked about that one yesterday, which I think is probably going to be the best game. Cane Ridge, Stewart's Creek, and Page is at Stone Memorial. So this is a really, really, Region 4 is solid.
Page is playing Stone Memorial at Tullahoma, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hope they don't both wear their black jerseys.
Did that happen?
Happened last night with Upperman and Page. So Upperman had to wear Tullahoma's white jerseys.
Didn't seem to bother them.
Did not. They would get the win 50-45 over the Lady Patriots.
Yeah. Interesting.
It was. They both showed up wearing black jerseys, and they were, I bet they all came out in warm-ups going, the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is tough because I think Clay County East Robertson is the most intriguing matchup to me, but I think Pearl County East Nashville could certainly be it too.
Pearl County East is, always intriguing.
And much like the game last night, you've got one team who's won both regular season matchups, but that doesn't matter when you get to this point.
It's tough to beat a team 3 times. It's even tougher to beat them 4.
Ask Columbia Central.
Ask Columbia Central. Ask Summit Girls. Ask
Loretto.
Yeah. So
Region 5, Lebanon Beach, Portland, MLK, Richland, Santa Fe, and Fairview, Summertown.
Well, since I'm headed to Wayne County when I leave here, obviously the Richland Santa Fe game has a lot of intrigue, but I just think in terms of across the board appeal, I think a lot of people will be paying attention to that Beach Lebanon game.
I think they will be too. I'm going to be at Summertown Fairview, and these two teams seem very evenly matched based on what, their schedule and how they've played against some common opponents. It's going to be a really good ball game. But yeah, you're right. That
little known fact, or maybe it is better known, little talked about fact. Fairview beat Independence earlier this year.
They did, in fact, beat Independence, and it's a big win.
Yeah.
So
just something to keep in mind.
Region 6, Ravenwood Independence, Jackson Northside versus Jackson Southside, Gibson County Milan, and McKenzie West Carroll.
Ravenwood is really versatile, and adding DJ Starr to their mix, kid that moved in out of Chicago back at the start of the year, has really impacted that team. They've got Jake Mulder, big kid who can step away and shoot the 3. Starr and Andrew Lamuno and Matthew Williams as well. I mean, they can score it from anywhere, and they can D you up. So I think Independence will have their hands full.
Well, I mean, they had not lost. They beat Ravenwood twice in the regular season and lost to them the third time in that district semifinals.
Yeah,
so
in overtime.
This is going to be a very good basketball game. And what happened?
Hello?
Did you elbowed him?
What are you doing over there?
Mind of its own over here.
Hey.
We got a goblin. Ghost running around.
Independence has had a couple of really good games in this region tournament because they beat a good Hillsboro team to start 47-46, and then obviously the big win over Columbia Central the other night. So they're playing some good ball right now.
They are playing very good basketball right now. And listen. Say what you will. I know you got to play it on the floor, but you're playing to avoid beach. You're playing to avoid a trip to beach. Who wants to go to Shackle Island? Neither one of these teams, I can assure you. So you got to win. It's must win.
Yeah, take your chances against Lebanon.
Exactly. Yeah. And hope Beach doesn't lose. Oh, man.
There you go.
Again, tonight, the last time that you can lose and win a state championship.
Which there are those that would tell you that's 3 times too many, actually. But, yeah. All that happens if you lose tonight is you go on the road for Monday's sectionals.
And that McKenzie West Carroll game is going to be really, really interesting, too, as well, because, West Carroll last year eliminated Loretto, and watching that game, I didn't think they had any business beating Loretto based on, the style of play that, the War Eagles take. And a trip to West Carroll is not what you want to be making on a Monday.
But either Richland or Santa Fe will.
Either Richland or Santa Fe is going to have to.
Yeah.
So tonight, again, you're playing for for that home game.
Yep.
The home game, especially on a school night. Obviously, with the Saturday with girls, it's probably a little less taxing, but a school day, you got to go to school and then go to Carroll County? No, thank you. The west side of it on that side?
West Carroll.
You couldn't even get East Carroll. No, you got to go all the way across.
I tell you what, I do think whoever wins that Richland Santa Fe game, Monday night sectional is going to be one heck of an atmosphere.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think that's those are the I mean, we could go to Memphis, but you and me. Well, I guess Clarksville Rossview is in Region 7, which I mean Clarksville's 24-2 on the year. So yeah.
In Division 2 girls basketball action up at Eblin Arena in Cookeville. I think Lipscomb Academy and Ensworth both won semifinal games today in Division 2 AA and will play for the state championship, which is
knocking out both Knoxville schools.
Yeah. So congratulations to former Hickman County standout Becky Myatt Starks for leading the Lady Mustangs to state championship game appearance.
I'm trying to figure out what's up with Mount Pisgah Christian in the NACA National Tournament semifinal. They get a win over New Hope Academy in Maryland. So I guess they're playing for the NACA National Championship. That's the National Association of Christian Academies, I assume. Sounds good. It's in Dayton. The tournament is in Dayton.
Oh, it must be at Bryan College.
Well, that would make sense. A National Association of Christian Athletes. So there you go. That's going to do it for today's show. Tomorrow we will react to tonight's high school games. We will talk to Jerry Palm and talk about some bracketology as mid-major tournaments come to a culmination this weekend, and Power 5 tournaments get ready to get underway. Bob Kessling of Vol Radio Network will join us as well from down in Tampa as they get ready for the SEC Hoops tournament. So,
well, actually, he won't be in Tampa.
Will he not? Yeah, no. He'll be at. Yeah, they've got Thompson. They've got Arkansas at TBA this weekend. I'm sorry. For some reason, I was just.
Let's not.
I'm a week ahead, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a week ahead.
No.
But again, yeah, Jerry Palm, Bob Kessling joining us tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys hang out with us 2:00 on Twitter at ms_sports today, at Chris Yao 14, at Mo Patton _sports, and at JPPSEC. Again, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.